Hey, it's James here from GoodGuitarist.com, and today I'm going to show you how to play Take It Easy by the Eagles. Let's take a quick look at what we'll be learning today. 3, 4.
Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Lighten up while you still can. Don't even try to understand. Just find a place to make your stand. Take it easy.
So it's just some basic chord shapes, the most common strumming pattern ever, but there are a few little twists and turns, and especially in the intro. I'll show you at the end of the lesson. There's this really cool rhythm thing that you don't really notice when you're listening to it, but when you try to play it, it kind of throws you off. We'll go over all that really quick before we get started. If you haven't grabbed your copy of my free ebook, I'll put a link to that in the corner and down below. It's completely free for all my subscribers. It goes over all the fundamentals of acoustic guitar, strumming, keeping a steady rhythm, all the chord shapes, chord progressions, chord switching, all that stuff. It's all there. It's completely free. So grab your copy. And if you enjoy learning guitar with me, take a moment to subscribe to the channel, like the video. I'd sincerely appreciate that. Otherwise, let's just jump right in. This song's in the key of G. So we start off on a G chord, and you'll notice that instead of playing it this way, which I do a lot of the time because it switches so easily into D, just pivoting off our ring finger, I'm actually going to play it this way. So my ring finger's on the 3rd fret of the thickest string, and my pinky's on the 3rd fret of the thinnest string. And honestly, that's all we need. We can add our middle finger to the 2nd fret of the A string just to complete the shape, but usually that string's muted anyways from the underside of your ring finger. The reason why we're doing this is because it's really easy to switch into C, and we do that quite a bit in this tune. You could totally do it this way too, because it makes the switch to D easier. You're just gonna have to decide which one of those switches you want to be a little bit easier. We're gonna skip the intro for now because it's a little bit special. Let's just jump in to the meat of it. Here are the chords for the verse. So 2 measures of G, and then G and D share a measure, and then we have a measure of C, G, D, C, G. All really straightforward G, C, D stuff. The one thing is where G and D share a measure. We're gonna do them for 2 beats each. Let's just count it out, downstrokes only, so we can get used to changing chords at the right time. Starting on G. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 that wanna own me. 2 that wanna stone me. 1 says she's a friend of mine. So you wanna be really good at just counting out downstrokes only and going through the chords. If you do need help chord switching and it's not completely there yet, like I said, I have my free ebook. I also have a course, Learn Guitar Once and For All, which takes you through every single step, making sure that you're able to accurately and quickly switch chord shapes, to get your strumming together, to put it all together, just going step by step. I'll put a link to that in the corner. We can talk more about that later. Anyways, I want you to get to that point with the chord shapes, and then we can add some strumming to it. The strumming pattern, I want to use the most common strumming pattern ever. Down, down, up, down, up. And downstrokes and upstrokes don't really mean much until you add some rhythm. So here it is. You can see with the counting underneath, we have a downstroke on beat 1, a down up on beat 2, and then for the second half of it, I like to go miss, up, down, up. So we miss on beat 3 and then up, down, up for the rest of it. To practice it, I'd break it down into halves. The first half, down, down, up, 3, 4. Down, down, up, 3, 4. Be sure to count 3, 4 out loud because it really helps keep the rhythm together, right? And once you do that a bunch of times, build up that muscle memory, we can do the second half. We start by counting 1, 2, miss, up, down, up. 1, 2, miss, up, down, up. And a great trick for practicing strumming patterns, you just mute the strings by lightly touching them. Not only is it going to save your fingers from like pressing the same chord shape for like 10 minutes, but it also makes the sound a lot sharper, you know, and it's easier to get the timing dead on because the sound wave is like really tight. So we practice our strumming pattern like that. Like I said, it's in my free ebook if you need extra help. I have a whole video about it. And then we're going to add that to our chords, except where we switch from G to D because we're splitting the measure between those two. Down, up on G, and then down, down, up on D. Because we're doing each one for 2 beats. So we have to do a little 2-beat strumming pattern for each one. And it's just the first half of the strumming pattern anyways, you know, so you should have the muscle memory for it. I'm going to play through the verse now. You can always just watch, see how this goes, rewind the tape, and then check it out. Try it with me after. 84 beats per minute. That feels pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Low, trying to loosen my load. I got down, down, up, down, down, up. Strumming pattern on C. 4 that want only, 2 that want to stone me. 1 says she's a friend of mine. From here, we're going to go into the chorus, and there's no splitting of the strumming pattern or anything. I'm just going to write out all the chords here. You do the strumming pattern 1 time per chord symbol. We have an E minor in there now, and we're coming from a G chord. So make sure that you're comfortable switching from either version of G into that E minor. There's also an A minor chord. And we're going to come from a G chord into the A minor. And there's no common fingers or anything. So that's one of those shapes where you just have to go through the motions over and over again to really nail it. You know, you have your G chord, you lift your fingers a little bit, not all the way off, but just a little bit. Then you're going to put your index down where it belongs on A minor, on the first fret of B. And then you get your ring and middle down together like a unit. You know, and I would just do it that way. 1, 2. Start on G. 1, 2. Or if you're on this version of G, 1, 2. Go through the motions over and over again. You know, that's what I do in my free ebook, in my course, Learn Guitar Once and For All, or with my private students. You know, that's what makes people successful, is going through those motions over and over. And then from A minor into C, it's a pretty straightforward switch. You're just moving 1 finger. But if you only move that finger, the C chord's going to feel really weird. So you have to actually kind of adjust your elbow, move your thumb a little bit, you know, and make that C chord comfortable. A minor's like this, and then everything kind of spreads out into that C shape. Otherwise, there aren't any new chord shapes in the chorus. I'm going to strum through it now. You can always watch it, see how it goes, rewind, try with me after. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take it. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Lighten up while you still can. Don't even try to understand. Just find a place to make your stand. Take After that, we have another verse, which is identical to the first verse, and then we have another chorus, and there's one slight alteration in this chorus. We start off playing E minor once, and instead of playing it again, we play a D chord there. So, come on, baby, don't say me. That's it. That's the only change. And if you go to like jam this song with other people, chances are they're not going to do that. So you might just do it the same way as the first chorus. It really depends if everybody's doing this version of the song or not, which is the actual recorded version of it. And otherwise, it's all the same thing. Then there's a solo section, which you do the chords for the verse and then the chords for the second chorus. So E minor, D, C, G for that first line. And at the end of the solo section, it goes. So we're splitting E minor and D with our strumming pattern, and we're splitting it like this. We go down, down, and then we switch to D on the and after 2 on that upstroke. Up, miss, up, down, up. This is totally optional, but if you want to add those extra finishing touches, this is something that they do in the recording. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I'm just doing the same strumming pattern, but I'm switching chords to the D chord on the and after 2 at the very end of the solo section. And then we have another verse, which is just like the ones before it. Then another chorus, which is just like the first chorus, except at the very end of it, I gotta know if your sweet love is gonna save me. So instead of strumming our G chord 2 times like we do to usually finish up the chorus, we're just strumming it on B1 and then we're letting it ring out 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And at first we count out loud. And when we're ready to play the song, we count in our head because it's kind of weird if you're up on stage and you're like 1, 2, 3, 4. People can hear you counting. But you do want to count when you're practicing. And then we have an outro and we just play our strumming pattern 2 times on C, 2 times on G. And then again, C, C, G, G, C, C, G, G, C, C, G, G, C, C. And then we strum E minor once. Now, if you want to play the entire song with me, I have that available on my Patreon page. I'll put a link down below for that. But before we finish the lesson, I want to show you the intro. We have our G chord, strum it 2 times, and then we go to C/G. So I'm basically holding my G chord still, and then I put my index on the 1st fret of the B string, my middle finger on the 2nd fret of D. Where they belong on a C chord, this is C/G. So I have G and I switch into C. And this is great for songs like Me and Bobby McGee or Suspicious Minds by Elvis. And then I'm going to take my middle finger and move it up to the G string. And this makes like D7 sus4/G, something like that. All it really is though is you have G, barely moving your fingers. I would just strum those out 2 times. So and I would do that again. And then I would play G 2 times. Well, I'm running down the road trying to loosen my load. And I would start singing the song. Anyways, that's it for today's lesson. If you enjoy learning guitar with me, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. Don't forget to grab your copy of my free ebook. And while you're down there, you might also see a link to my course, Learn Guitar Once and For All, which is designed to take you from absolute beginner to confident strummer. It takes you step by step through everything, and every lesson just builds on the one before it. It's pretty much foolproof. And it comes with a workbook, backing tracks, and access to the Good Guitarist community, which is an online group where you and all the other people taking my courses can give each other feedback, hang out. I visit the group all the time, and I'll be able to, if you post a video of yourself, I'll be able to watch it and tell you, maybe try changing this, or maybe that's great, nothing needs to be changed, but you can get my feedback. It's basically what I'm trying to say. So, if that sounds good to you, and you want to build up your skills, or maybe you're already past that, I have a ton of other courses that'll help you out. So please check that out. That's the best way to support the channel. Otherwise, have a fun time practicing, and I'll see you soon.